Welcome to HICGI News Agency.
HICGI News Agency Live. Welcome. Agency. HICGI News Agency.
This is HICGI News Agency.
News Agency. This is HICGI News Agency.
News Agency Live.
We are live. HICGI News Agency. This is HICGI News Agency.
When I went to pick my transfer letter from the Ministry of Education and Sports, the commissioner by then was Mr. Maloba. So they designated me, say you go as acting deputy, because there's no undergraduate. Deputy and the head teacher, they have to be graduates. So I was appointed acting deputy head teacher. Then I taught for only 1 year, and I decided to come this way to Kampala. When I came to Kampala, you can't get what? Place where to teach. All the schools are full. Then a friend of mine got for me a school deep there in Mukono District, Kasao SS. So I decided what to go there. But when I was still in Arua, I was after the deputy, I was given career guidance and counseling. So one time, the head teacher, all head teachers were supposed to go for cadre training. You know, NRM was now in power. Yes. And there was this issue of cadre training. So my mistress said, I'm not going for cadre training. Christine, can you go and represent me? So I went for cadre training. So that was the first time I came in touch with politics. Wow. So I went for cadre training. It was 1 week. So each day there were topics. Then after that, we were given opportunity to discuss. And you know, we were a group, we were so vocal, we could talk and oppose government and critique whatever was there. Now, immediately after that kind of training, I came back to the village. It was holiday, I came for holiday. That was 1996. Okay. Went for cadre training in 95. So 96, I came to the village. So the brigade commander in Arua was the late Afande Kazini. Oh. The late. So one day I see a vehicle coming to our village. Welcome them. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know him. So we sat under the tree. You know, in the village, they welcome people under the tree. Yes, so we welcome them, and then they introduce themselves. Then they say, now for us, we are coming from So Christine, we noticed you during the cadre training. Wow. So we are proposing that you stand as MP for this place.
That cousin is telling you.
That was way back 96. I was taken aback. I had not thought about it. It was not in my dream. Then I told him, I said, I don't stand because somebody is telling me. I stand because when I have an agenda for which I'm standing. And already, I have 2 uncles who are standing for this constituency of Jonam. I had from my clan, they were 2. And already the clan were divided. They were telling the 2, let one person step down so that as a clan, we rally behind one person. There was Akida Aligabi. He was MP in the 6th Parliament. Then there was Obed Moth. You remember he was youth MP. He was also studying. And they are both from my clan. So I said, now, from my clan, there are already 2 people. I can't become the 3rd. When already the clan is telling even the 2, one must step down for the other. So I think next time, better. But that was the time when the seed of politics got planted in me. So whereas I declined to stand, but I mobilized. Okay. I mobilized. So I was, my name was put on the West Nile Presidential Task Force to campaign for the president. So I campaigned together with the other people. We campaigned. By that time, West Nile was purely opposition. It was risky business being NRM.
I remember that.
But for us, when we went for the cadre training, we got the 10 points program. I don't know, it was very appealing and beautiful. When you look at the 10-point program, you say, yes, this is it. And we embraced it. Because in writing, it is so good. It is so good. So we fell for it, we mobilized for the president. And you know, our office was in Pakwach town somewhere there. Then DP, you know, it was Semogere was the one standing. Semogere was the one contesting with Museveni. So his office was also across there, DP. And every time they could pass by our office and laugh at us, I say, you young people, you're just kidding, you're joking. We are going to beat you hands down. You can't make it. But our leader was Honorable Obiga Kanya. He was the leader of the West Nile Presidential Task Force. And for us, we were mobilizing in Jonam. So once in a while, we could have meetings in Pakwach, in Nebbi, at the home of the late Honorable Okomoringa. Then sometimes also we met in Arua. We mobilized. So when elections were carried out, His Excellency the President won. And DP, they couldn't believe it. I said, these young people,
They couldn't believe it.
And let me tell you, even at night we couldn't sleep. We would move and mobilize. And when it came to picking results, we moved the whole night. I remember one time, the vehicle in which we went, Wadilai, it is like 20 kilometers from Pakwach, it broke down, it was already night. But I said, I was the only girl among boys. I said, I can't sleep here. It is risky for me as a girl child. So I said, I'm going to walk up to home, around 15 kilometers. So I crossed the bridge, I crossed a river, I crossed a forest. I was walking alone. I said, I cannot trust this man to sleep among them. You know, girls are very vulnerable. So I decided to walk. But those people were like, we can't leave Christine like this. They repaired that vehicle until it was on the road. Then they found when I'd walked like 8 kilometers. From that time, they started calling me Jess. They said, you girl, you are not easy. You walk in this darkness. I said, yes. I would rather walk than be raped by what? Somebody. No. I was a very principled girl and a girl of integrity. So I walked, we reached. So we suffered mobilizing for the NRM government. But like me, the NRM government has never even remembered what I did for them. They have never rewarded me. Because that time, even because I mobilized, I even lost my job as a teacher. They said, yes, you're a teacher. Why were you campaigning? The board, it was even my uncle. You see, how can you compete with me? You have made this man Museveni to win here. So when I went to school, I found my name was what? Deleted from the timetable. And that's when I left to come what? To Kampala. When I reported to the ministry, they said they don't have any right to delete your name from the what? Timetable. But now that the relationship is like that, don't go back to the school. We shall get for your school and deploy you. So politics made me leave Pakwach that time. And even in the last election, I mobilized for the what? For the president in Pakwach, the grassroots mobilization. So that was when I got in touch with the politics. It planted something, I got the skills of mobilization. Then I concentrated now on teaching and forgot all about the what? The politics. So I taught in Mokono. As a teacher, I was a teacher who loved my students to pass. I believe that when I've taught, there must be a change in the child. That child must change, must have the knowledge, skills, and values. And so we will form performance studies with the class at the beginning of the year. And we keep evaluating it every time, whether the children are progressing or not. And I always kept record of the progress or retrogression of every child. And in the end, we'll find that everybody from my class would pass very well. I was teaching A-level. I was teaching A-level divinity and geography. So news went round. If you're in a Christian class, you can't fail. So normally schools, Divinity will have a very small number of students. But every time S5 students came, they will get that talk in school, that Christian's class, you can't. So people will change their combination to Divinity, those who are doing us. And I ended up having very big class, almost like the one of economics. Because the economics class was always very big, but my students will always excel. So from Kasau, they gave me an assignment. When I left West Nile, I said, now I'm in Uganda. I don't expect any leadership appointment, because it's no longer our one. Uganda is tribalistic. It is no longer my region, and even it was a Muslim school, I'm a Catholic. I want to get an appointment. But the teacher gave me an assignment. Said, my library is so disorganized. The school library is so disorganized. Can you become the teacher in charge of the library? I accepted. Within 1 week, I put order. All inventories, I designed the forms for borrowing, and even teachers. I'll make sure that even teachers return the books they borrowed. Because teachers will borrow books and they don't return. Students, because there was a form for tracking, I put order in the library. Then the teacher said, no. He called me in his office and said, Christine, I'm going to appoint you director of studies. Wow. But I was a deputy director of studies. So I expected it is the deputy director of studies to be promoted as director of studies, but not me, who is a teacher. And I said, now where will the deputy DOS go? So the deputy DOS will also do. I saw that it was not a good practice, but there they put me to become director of studies. Said, the teacher told me, you know, there's no order card.
From Fakwachi, Nebbi is honorable, USA.
Yeah, so I used not to lobby for leadership, but my supervisors always saw the leadership potential.
Bulungi nnyo nnyini ddala ate nga ba KEB International Group bakulambuza Africa okutuusaako mu game parks ez'enjawulo okukyalira obutonde ebibuga n'ebifo ebirala n'abayagala okufuna obujjanjabi obusukka emitala w'amayanja okusoma oba okwetaba mu conferences okwetoola ensonna byonna babirina. Ayagala air tickets ku miwendo emirungi bakyaliko ku ofiisi yabwe wali Namasooba bakulambike oba ku mutimbagano ogwa www.kebinternationalgroup.com. osobola n'okuba ku namba zaabwe oba WhatsApp noti 77373556 noti 77373556 noti 2 noti 933556 bakwesunze ye KEB International Group. Let's travel.
And they kept promoting me. So from director of studies, I became a deputy teacher, and then I was posted to Chikumba. From there I was brought to Gaba Secondary School, St. Denis Sebugwao, and when the head teacher was retiring, the late Mr. Suma, he called me in his office. He said, Christine, I've worked with you. I've never worked with a deputy like that. You don't disturb me over money. You know, for me, when I'm doing my work, teachers keep on saying, allow me, I work without asking for allowance. I just work. I want to see children pass. I want to see students pass. I want to see order. When I'm on duty, I do it thoroughly. So he called me, said, I'm going to retire. I want to leave you in this school as the acting head teacher. I'm not a Muganda. So I was like, here in Kampala and I'm not a Muganda. He said, yes, you have worked so well, so I'm going to leave you and I'm not giving you opportunity to answer. The following day I went to the PS, my name it was Pius, and the following day he came with a letter for me, acting head teacher, St. Denis Sebugwao SS Gawa. So I became the acting head teacher. 1 year after that, I became substantively appointed head teacher. So in about 10 years, as I told you, I was a head teacher and not a teacher. That which we had written when I was in the School of Education. Where would you like to be in 10 years?
In 10
a head teacher. So I worked as a head teacher for a short time. St. Denis Sebugwao, you know the school? Gaba Road.
Yes.
Opposite the junction going to Speak Resort Munyonyi.
Yes.
Yes. I worked very hard. It was a small school. We worked with the teachers to bring it up. And you know that the current speaker was a student in that school?
Seriously? Or both of both?
Yes. And even the former MP for Baka is from that school, that small school.
Yeah.
I was liked by the students. And you see, this is what I've kept. When I was a teacher then, a head teacher, this is what the students wrote and brought to me one day. They say, teacher, I want to see you. Then they presented this to me. The secret behind our head teacher's name.
Wow.
So the students loved me. We worked very well. So it was from St. Denis SS Gapa that I decided to stand for MP. One day, I traveled for holiday to the village. And as I told you, the water scarcity in Pakwach, the one I experienced during childhood. We reach at night, no borehole, no tap water, no nothing. So there was no water for bathing. So I had to go and get from a neighbor. But I was like, really, all these years, what do the MPs do? As children, we suffered this water problem. Today, I was more than 40 years by then, when I decided to. Now I'm about 40 years, there's still water problem. But every 5 years, we elect what? An MP. What do they do? So it was what triggered that desire to stand. It was not premeditated. I had not thought about it, but I came across that challenge and I said, no, I'm going to stand. By then, Zombo was becoming a district. The incumbent woman MP by then, Honorable Mavenjina Kumo, was going to stand in Zombo. So Nebbi was just left for all the fresh people coming to contest. So I said, this is an opportunity. I'm going to contest. And top on my agenda was the women's agenda, water. So I contested, and by the grace of God, I won in the primaries. I was very popular, and I went ahead to win the general elections. That's how I ended in parliament. And when I reached parliament, the first agenda, that impact, I was in parliament for only 5 years. I stood the second time, I lost, but I thank God that I ever went to parliament. In the 5 years, the first time we went for this orientation of MPs at Chankwazi, I raised the water issue to the president at Chankwazi. I said, there's the Red Dry Corridor Water Project. We always see it on paper. There are people of Pakwach, there are people of Nebbi. The women are suffering a lot. No water. And most girls are dropping out of school because of scarcity of water. You go to school, you must come back and go to fetch water. Or you go to fetch water very early before you run to school. By the time you walk to school 3-4 kilometers, you are very tired. Then the girl says, let me stay home. Because I cannot juggle school and then also this going for water very far, 4 kilometers. Then also, women cannot dig for long. You must cut. If you are going to dig for 3 hours, you say, now I'll dig for 2. Because I must go and look for water for cooking food. So when I raised that issue, the president directed there and then at Chankwazi, Honorable Betty Bigombe was Minister of State for Water, said, can the Red Dry Corridor Water Project be operationalized? But you know, those are political statements. For me, I've been a head teacher and I know that government thinks you must work on papers. So I came back from Chankwazi and I wrote officially to the PS and to the minister requesting a Red Dry Corridor to be operationalized. And they called me. They said, now we don't have documents for Red Dry Corridor. How can we operationalize it? And I was an MP who used to attend all council meetings. Even I learned about the Red Dry Corridor Water Project when I was in council meeting, the district council. They wrote that project, but they didn't have funding for it. So I said, let me take it to the central government. You know, local government is so much underfunded. So when I brought the issue up, said, go and bring the documents. I went to the district, to the cow, said, the documents are needed. Cow talked to the water engineer to compile the documents. There were very many. We carried them in a full pickup with the water engineer and brought to the Ministry of Water. So together with the LC5 by then, Honorable Arole, to also with the other MP, MP for Jonam was Honorable Jachano March. He was Minister of State for Finance. So together with them, the district councillors, we all pushed. And within that 5 years, Arui Dry Corridor was operationalized. As I talk right now, go to the villages in Pakwach, you find tap water. And then after that, there was phase 2. More water was distributed. And up to now, people continue getting disconnected. So we have some villages where water hasn't reached. But today you can talk of piped water in Pakwach district.
Ffe bakimbo wa concrete products nga tusangibwa wano Nakawuka Mpumudde nga tukola buli concrete waka yenayina abeetaaze pavers ez'omulembe ole bricks mu size zonna tulinako inchi 4, inchi 5, inchi 6 ne inchi 8 Nakawuka Mpumudde okunana ne health center 3 era nga products zaffe ziri ku miwendo emirungi ddala tuzitunda okusinziira mu mitendera. Inchi 4 ina price yayo ennungi, ne inchi 5, ne inchi 6, ne inchi 8. Osobola tufuna ku masimu gaffe wano wammanga 075 25 87 48 n'endala era nayo Airtel 0703 98 66 84.
Had no piped water. So each time I go back, even when I'm not MP, I smile and I feel happy that impact. I fought very hard for the water together with the other leaders, and now people got it. Even electricity was a major problem. During our time, also the poles and electricity came to some areas. But it has stopped where we left it. Up to now, it has stopped at Pachir on Wadlai Road. It has not progressed beyond that ever since I left Parliament. So now that Honorable Nyamotoro is a girl from that region, is in that docket, I hope that electricity. You know, I went to Chankwanzi last year, International Women's Day, we were in Chankwanzi. And we went to schools to do career guidance in schools. There was electricity everywhere in the villages, and I asked the woman MP then, her name was also Christine, how come that you people, no, I asked the DO, how come you people have electricity everywhere? But for us in Pakwach District, in the West Nile, villages don't have access to power. We hear of rural electrification, but it has not gone far. And then another thing which I remember so much in Parliament, even though I served only 5 years, but I'm happy that it happened during my time. The Speaker, Karaga, one time called me to our office. I said, Christine, I'm sending you for a workshop in Tunisia. And I was the only MP being sent with from a technocrat from local government, an auditor. We went only 2 of us. We went for this workshop on public expenditure and financial accountability framework.
Wow.
So in that workshop, we saw that there were some good practices in Uganda, like Parliament had a budget office, which the other countries didn't have. Because when we were sharing experiences, the other countries said, oh, this practice of Ugandan Parliament having a budget office is very good. We also have to copy it. We must benchmark it. Like Kenya was not having it also. But we found that all other countries, their budget is passed before the financial year ends. By 1st July, they are beginning to spend with a budget which is already appropriated.
Yes.
By that time when we're in Parliament, appropriation will be done in September, when spending started in July. And you know it could be abused. So when I came back, I didn't travel with any clerk, I didn't go with any technical person, but I sat down and wrote a report, which I presented to Parliament. And when I was presenting that report in Parliament, 2012, Whenever I look at the video, I feel excited. The MPs were clapping, the MPs stood up, the MPs were, because I recommended that our budget cycle must change. We must begin appropriating before 1st of July, just like other countries do. Then too, supplementary budget. Why must we go for supplementary budget? Because those days we were having a lot of supplementary budgets. There will be supplementary budget 1, supplementary 2, supplementary 3. But from other countries, even when we benchmarked Botswana, we found that they were very tough, the finance. You have to spend within your budget. There's nothing like supplementary. But they had contingency fund. Then another thing, there was another thing which I also recommended, but Parliament was excited and they clapped. And that was also around the time when we had the Public Finance and Management Act being debated. And in the end, we had this act being passed, the bill was passed into an act of Parliament, and today we have appropriation being done before 1st of July.
Before 1st of July.
By the time we begin spending money in the next financial year, that money is already approved by Parliament. In the past, it was not like that.
It was your efforts.
Not mine only, mine and the other MPs.
Actually, the one who wrote the report.
Yeah, from that experience of the workshop, I also had my contribution. But of course, a Ministry of Finance also brought the bill. So my report enlightened members more. We realized that other countries all pass their budgets before spending begins. So eventually it was passed. I felt it was a good contribution. Also, when I was in Parliament, I really talked about UPE and USE capitation grants. Because I was a teacher. I was a head teacher. So by then, UPE used to be only 10,000. But we talked, we said, let this money be enhanced. Because a ream of paper, even right now when we talk, government needs to consider increasing UPE and USE capitation grants. Because if a ream of paper goes at 20,000, even some 25,000, then look at the UPA capitation grants. How many reams of papers can you buy? So if we need quality education, then we need the financing. So I was there only 5 years, but I thank God. I've never regretted being there for only 5 years. I was still young. I lost the elections. So the next was, now what next?
What next?
What next? So when we lost the elections and met the president at State House, people talked, we came back. So after that, I was just staying at home. But I found myself becoming sick.
Okay.
I started feeling pain in my knees. I had developed high blood pressure earlier when I was in Parliament.
Okay.
You know those diseases of the senior citizens, high blood pressure. I have high blood pressure. I have osteoarthritis. So one day when I was talking to my son, who is a medical doctor, he said, "Mommy, you know, you shouldn't sit at home. You are so hyperactive. You are used to a very active life. If you just sit, you are going to get very sick. So get up and see what you can do." So people could lobby to become RDCs. What? He said, "Me, I'm a teacher. I want to go back to teach." Yes. So after going through the right procedures, I was reinstated back as head teacher of secondary school on government payroll. Then I worked I was serving in my district of Pakwach. I worked for a very short time, but I want to thank the Lord that my efforts were recognized. I was a teacher who always kept time. I was a teacher who always kept all what my supervisors want, submissions, what I'll make sure I do them on time. So around 20, I don't remember the exact year, but between 2019 to 2020, I was given an award for best public servant. We were 3 recognized.
Congratulations.
In the region. Nebbi also had theirs, then Pakwach, but I was recognized. I was given an award, and I thought I deserved it. I have been somebody of integrity, somebody who keeps my word, somebody who keeps time. You know, when I saw you are not here.
Welcome to Princess Branding Services. Do you have a party, introduction, or you have lost a loved one and you intend to do burial branding? At Princess Branding Services, they do branding for baby shower, political rallies, and all kinds of celebrations and functions. Contact us for great and friendly, affordable prices. We will brand your t-shirts, capes, bottles, umbrellas, photos, bags, frames, and much more. Contact us on the number on your screen. +256 783 20 95 79 or +256 744 580326. Email princessbranding256@gmail.com.
It's going to be up. I always kept time. Even in class, my students will always know if it is 8, I leave the staff room 5 minutes before 8. 8 finds me at the door. And when we went to benchmark the Parliament of Botswana, we found that in the Parliament of Botswana, you don't come late. Yes, when you come late, you find the door really closed and you cannot enter.
Jesus.
So you must keep time. But here in Uganda, we take time for granted. So I went back and served in my district of Pakwach as district education officer. And I decided to go for early retirement.
Okay.
I requested to be given early retirement before reaching the age of 60. I have always thought that you don't need to reach 60. You don't wait until you're 60 and then you retire. You must retire when you're still young, when you can begin something, when you still have energy. The work in the local government, I saw it was very stressful. And then me, I have high blood pressure. I was having also problem with my knees. I said, I need to retire now and have a relaxed life. So every day after lunch, I rest.
Wow.
And that's why I was telling you too, I'll not be available. I rest. Then I get up at around 3, 4. That's when I continue with my activities. Then I begin my day very early. 4 a.m., 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. I begin with my prayers. I go shower. I do my exercise. I drink the warm water. You know, as you age, I'm really following it. I drink the warm water, try to do some exercise within the house, even sometimes within my bedroom, or even in the kitchen. Okay. I've also adjusted my food and lifestyle. I try to walk a lot. Then food, I used to love eating muchoma a lot, goat's muchoma, and meatballs, and sausages. But one day, I failed to climb upstairs to my bedroom. Okay. My house was a very big house, storied 7 bedrooms. Then one day, each step I take, I feel a pricking pain. I couldn't climb. So I just decided to sleep in the bedroom, which is a downward stairs. And for some months, I couldn't access my bedroom. My knees could not allow me. But I went to Platinum Hospital. They did tests, so they say you have osteoarthritis. So they started managing it. It was only when I became better. Then also, it is also good as you age to do the routine checkups every year. So prevention is better than cure. Very important. For me, when I was young, I only used to suffer from malaria. Nothing else.
Nothing else?
Yes. So as we age, it is good to listen to your body language and seek help immediately. Don't try to ignore that it will go away. Seek help immediately. So at one point, even my back, I could feel pricking pain. I wouldn't wear these race shoes. Are you seeing this race? It is a wedge.
Okay.
I could wear only flat shoes like a slipper or sandal. If I wore this type of shoes, my back I would feel pain here. I would wear only flat shoes, but now I can wear them. So I have been going for, every year I go for checkup, and I think the checkup have been good. One time they found that I had problem with my bones at the back here, and I started on physiotherapy immediately. But I also want to thank Her Excellency the Vice President, Alopo. Yes, she's the patron of a women's group to which I belong, the Visionary Women Group. So she talked to us. She told us, you people, it is good to have the routine checkups. And she even sponsored us. The Specialized Women's Hospital in Mulango now does thorough checkup for women. And I think I'm very grateful, because these days I don't feel a lot of problems with my health. The knee, I don't feel a lot of pain. The back is no longer paining. I don't feel those body what. But what if I'd ignored those first signs? I think by now the situation would have become what? Bad. So when we go for these routine checkups, they help us identify what would have become a major what? Health problem. So as we age, health challenges are real. And you find that when you have left work like us, you have less money. And yet health care in Uganda is expensive. Accessing quality health care is not what? Easy. So it's important that this health insurance policy be operationalized. So that elderly people can easily have access, because there are people who have both diabetes and have high blood pressure. Then it reaches a state when the medication is really what? Very expensive. So it is something that this country needs to what? To really look into. But also I was telling you I was an MP. So in Parliament, when you serve only one term, you are not entitled to pension. It is only when you have served 2 terms and above. So 1 term they give you a package and that's it. But I would recommend that every member of Parliament should be entitled to pension. Because after you've left, you can't be employed anywhere.
Exactly.
And then also in Uganda, by the time you lose an election, you have lost all your money.
Exactly.
You're not having money. So where do you begin from? So it's important that every member of Parliament should be entitled to what? To pension. But the only difference should be the amount. People who have served less time should be entitled to less. Those who have served many terms should also be entitled to more. In that order.
Absolutely.
Because also pensions in the government, you find that if you have served many years, you get more. If you have served few years, you also get what? Less. It's something that government really needs to what? To look into. Otherwise,
we're putting a comma to this conversation tonight. It will be a privilege again to be given an opportunity to come back and speak with you. We had prepared lots of questions for you, but we really wanted, and even in our audience wanted to listen to the story of yours, where you've been from. It's really touching, inspiring, especially the war and now the post-war Uganda, in your journey in Parliament, the fundamental changes you actually gave back in Parliament, and your contribution to this country. Yes, but before you go, I wanted to read about the secrets behind your names. They were written by students, Namuleme, Diane, and Rebecca Joseph. So they're saying the secret behind our head teacher's name. Acayo Christine. A, advisor to the whole school community. C, is capable. A, articulate and bright. Y, yearning for development of St. Denis SS. O, observant and a great researcher. C, courageous and knowledgeable. R, responsible and reasonable. I, inspiring. S, serves others first. T, teacher with conduct. I, interesting to talk to. N, never late on duty. E, examine students' discipline. It's quite incredible. It's been a pleasure to speak to you, unless you have a few closing remarks for today before we close up.
Yeah, the closing remark I can say is that a society is judged by how it handles the vulnerable members of the society, like children, like women, like even senior citizens. So I want to say that senior citizens are very resourceful, they have wisdom, they have national, they are like a moving dictionary, they know the history of this country, like I was talking of the war.
Yes.
They have cultural heritage. They have a lot of experience and expertise. So senior citizens' welfare should really be catered for. So seniors, it is the responsibility of government. I want to thank the NRM government for the SAGE program that is helping the elderly, but we could still do more beyond the national celebrating older persons. We should move into empowerment of senior citizens through increasing access to proper health care, through implementing the health policy, the health insurance policy, through giving respect to elderly people, dignity. And I think when the nation, the government does that, it doesn't mean that elderly people are a burden. It is not being a burden. And when they do it, it is also not charity. Older persons deserve it because they are the men and women who have fought and worked for this country to make it what it is today. So the good things that government does for the older persons, like pension, like social security and others, they are done, they should be in the spirit of justice, in the spirit of gratitude, and in the spirit of sustainable development. But not looking at us as burdensome. It's not charity.
It's been a pleasure speaking to you, Honorable Acayo Christine, Senior Citizen for Member of Parliament for Nebbi. Until next time, my name is Kivumbi Earnest Benjamin, the Honorable Doctor from Canada, and on the cameras being Faith Papa Rohingya. The show is brought to you by KEB International Group from Namaswa Hill into the highway.
Thank you.
The Senior Citizens Talk is brought to you by Africa at Heart, Heal the Planet Global Organization, HICGI News Agency. Subscribe right now to get our latest updates sent on every single Sunday. Don't forget also the Talk to the World show that is running every Thursday at 4 p.m. Subscribe here on YouTube and make your notification bell right here. HICGI News Agency. Visit us on HICGINewsagency.com and find us on all social media platforms, on X, call it Twitter, on TikTok, Instagram and Facebook. HICGI News Agency. Subscribe now.